Hello friends, welcome to another video. This video is based on a question posted by a user on Reddit. Uh, he directly reached out to me and asked a question about allocation of annual budget by month. The one thing I liked about this particular video and the question is the user who posted this question was very clear in his requirement, which made it very easy to provide the solution. So let's take a look at the problem and then we will look into the solution. And also at the end of this video, I would like to explain the user who posted this question tried to solve it by himself and was not able to uh, solve it, and I want to explain what was the issue in his solution and how the solution which I provided was a little bit different. And it all going to come down to data modeling. Let's look at the problem statement and then the solution. So here is what user mentioned is like there is three tables: sales table, product table, and a budget table. Pretty straightforward. And the problem here is trying to solve a actual sales versus budget sales. Budgets are at the year level and at the product level. It is not at the month level, it is only at the year level. And the budget allocation will be based on the ratio of the product sales from the last year. So if a product A has a $1,000 budget for this year, we want to see the sale of previous year of that particular by month for that particular product and then allocate current year budget based on that percentage. So it's pretty straightforward. Otherwise, we will look into that how what kind of measures we need to do to solve it. And here he gave an example of a product and how it is being done. So let's take a look at the data model first. In this data model, just ignore this top table. I don't know, because this is the file provided by the operator and the user. I don't know what does this table means. It's called DATEADD, whatever, I guess temporary name. But the main model here, we have a calendar table which is connected on the date column with our budgets, and also on the sales table, and the product is connected of course to the both sales and budget table. And one thing what you need to pay attention here is our budgets is basically at the annual level. It's only one record per product for each year. So if you look for any of this product like rep CREM on 2012, it has only one row and the total budget for 2012 is $165 and $230. So each product has one row for each year, and that is the budget for that particular year for that product. And we need to split this budget based on the previous year's sales by each month, and then take the ratio from there and apply on this budget. And let's look into the measures. I already have the solution, but we will do it together. So here I have two base measures. One is the sales, and if we look into the sales measure, what I have here is sum x sales and the number of units in the sales table, and then we are taking the price from the product table, but that's the what the model is, and then we are multiplying units with the price. So this give us the sales. I have currently selected only 1 year of data, like for 2012, and we see this, and for one particular product we see the sales of that product by month, which is 5,829. This is for the selected year, the current year, and the budget is $7,177 for that particular product. Now the budget is only showing against January 2012. The reason behind that is because budget is only recorded in at a one date. It could be any date of the year, but it is only one row, and that's the budget for the whole year. So $7,100 approximately is the budget for this product for this particular year. Uh, Before we go forward, what we need to do is first we need to calculate the sales percentage of each month, right? For this 2012, what is the percentage of January 1st, February, March, April, so forth, so on. So basically, sales of the month divided by the total sales of the year. So how we can do that? So let's write my year here. Um, we can call it sales uh, total. So it's pretty straightforward measure. So we take our sales measure, which is a sum X, which we just saw, and then we will do is all calendar, and I will tell you why we're doing it, and then values by year, which is calendar year. So let me explain what we're doing here is, so we're taking our base sales and we are removing any filter getting applied on the calendar table, right? Either we are filtering by month or the year or by anything, we are removing that because we want the sale for the full year. It does not matter how the a calendar table is filtered, we are removing all the filter, and that's why we doing it all calendar. And here values year, it means we are applying the filter back, we're filtering it for 1 year because we don't want the sales to be, if we remove all all the filter from applied on the calendar table, then it will add the sales of all the years together. We don't want, because if I don't do values year, what it will do, it will give me the sales for all the years for whatever the product we have currently selected. So which we don't want. We want it to be for the year. So that's why we are applying values year. So that is applying a filter, a year filter on our calculation. Now if I apply this tab measure here in the display here, what I expected to see here is sales total. So if I go here you go. So what we're getting is, let's remove the budget for now because we don't need it. So what we're seeing is 5,829, and for the whole year for 2012. So that's the total. Now again, as I said, there is a date filter here. If I change the date filter to something else, let's say 1/6/2012, does not matter, my total will still be 5,829 for year 2012. And if I look for the more years, like 1/1, if I go 1/1/2011, and what would I have the sales? So as you can see, the total sales is getting filtered for each year. For 2011, for the product we have selected, the total sale is 2,131, and as soon as the next year start 2012, the total sale is 5,829. And that is, if I don't, again going back, if I don't give this values calendar year here, what you will see is the total sale will be sum of both the years, which will be 7,000 something, whatever that turns out to be, 7,960. We don't want this because our goal is to get the sales of the previous year. We haven't went to the previous year yet, but we currently what we're doing is we're just calculating the percentage of sales by each month. So what we have at this point of time, let's go back here. We have the sales and also the total sales by year. So this is perfectly fine. Now calculating the percentage is pretty easy, straightforward here. So what we can have, sales percentage. Let's write another measure here. Sales percentage, and that will be divide our sales, which is our just sum sales, divided by sales total. And I think I should call it sales for the year or something like that. Sales total does not look correct here, but anyhow, so sales percentage, let's display this measure here in the visual and change its type to percentage. So what we have here is, so we have a sales for each month allocated now, so 8.16, 8.16, and whatever. So now this is the sales for each particular month within that year, based on the percentage. So that's what we are getting. So this is 100%. I'm going to change it to just 2012 so that's easy to see what's going on. So as you can see, this is the sales percentage. Now we have a sales percentage of each month. uh, Again, we need to allocate the sales based on the previous year percentage. Now it is very easy. We can take advantage of date dimension time intelligence functions here to calculate the previous year percentage. How we can do that? Let's write another measure here. We're gonna call it sales percentage previous year, which is going to be pretty straightforward. Sales percentage previous year. So that will be calculate our sales percentage, and then we go date add, move our calendar table by 1 year. So that will be calendar date minus 1 and year. Now about date add and what we're doing here, I have a full series on time intelligence functions and I have a playlist. Do check out on my YouTube video, on a YouTube playlist on the time intelligence, and learn how these data and other function works. I'm not going to explain it here, but what we're doing is we are moving the sales, our calendar table back by 1 year because -1. So if I now put this measure in the display here, let's put it sales percentage and change it to percentage again, the format. So what we're seeing here is, now we're seeing is the previous year percentage of each month. In 2012, in 2011, in January, the percentage was 8.16, and to confirm that we can go back to increase our range. So as you can see, the 2011 January was 8.16. That's what we're getting in 2012 January. If we look at the 2012 6, it was 4.08%, and if we look here, and should be 4.08 in the 6 months. So this is working perfectly fine. Again, I'm gonna change it back to 2012, and so this, now we got this, so everything is working perfectly fine until now. From here onward it should be pretty straightforward. Let's go back to our budget measure here. So I'm going to display here, and now our budget is only showing for January 2012. We need to write a measure so that same 7,177 is repeated for each month, and that is pretty straightforward to do. So let's write another measure here, budget total. Let's call it budget total, or budget for each month, whatever you want to call it. So that should be calculate. Again, same, our base budget measure. Remove any filter coming on our calendar table and apply the year filter on it because we want it for each year. And now if we do this, bring this new measure in the display here, what we should see is 7,177 getting repeated for each month. Now this is perfectly fine. Again, this is only for the year 2012 because we wanted, if I go in 2011, whatever the budget for 2011 is, that will show for 2011, that is $1,522, and for 2012 it is 7,172. So this is working perfectly fine. It shouldn't be called budget for each month, we should call budget total. We call it sales total, and let's call it sales budget total. And now we can easily calculate budget for each month. So basically that will be total budget multiplied with the previous year's sales percentage. So budget month, that is do multiply basically our total budget multiply with sales percentage previous year. So if we show this measure in our visual here now, sorry, it was, oh, I added this as a column, which is a mistake. It should be a measure. I have to first delete this, delete from the model. Now, yes, add as in a measure, not a column. Sales, new measure, and this should budget month as in a measure. Bring it into our visual. So here you go. So what we have is for 7,177 for January, the budget is $585. Why it is $585? 7,177, 8.16% of that is for the January. The same is for February, and March is 439, same for April, and so forth, so on. At the end of the day, the total for the budget is for the whole year is 7,177, which is the budget for this particular product for 2012. Now we can remove all other unwanted column because we want actual versus budget. So we can remove sales total, sales percentage, sales previous year, budget, and budget total. So what we have here is per month allocation of the budget versus actual, and then any other ratio or percentage we want to calculate from here, we can simply do that. So what we did here is we simply calculated the percentage of each month for the current year, and then we use the time intelligence function and move it back calendar by 1 year to calculate the percentage for the previous year, and then we multiplied our budget with that percentage to calculate the monthly budget. Again, this is working because we have a calendar table and time intelligence, and the DATEADD function can work. Why we need to remove the filter from calendar table and then apply the filter back on the year? Because we want to be, if any filter getting applied on the calendar table, we can remove that filter and then apply the year filter back on top of it, and so that we can get the total sales for the year and also total budget for the year. Again, as I mentioned at the start of the video, the user tried to do this by himself and was not able to achieve the result what he was looking for. And let me show you guys where the challenge was and why he was not able to do that. Let me bring his model here just quickly, and we will look at it. So this is his model, again the same. The only thing what he did is he created this, I think as I mentioned in the video, he has this date table. I don't know what he was naming it, but he created this date table. First of all, he did not mark this as a date table. It is very important. If you want to use the time intelligence functions, you should mark your date table as mark as a date table. It's a feature in Power BI where you mark a table as a date table. That was the one thing. And second thing what he did is when he created this table, he connected his let me actually pin the relationship on the top. If you look at that, he created a relationship between this date table he created based on the year with the budget table, because he has a single row for the year for each product in this budget table. And when he created this date table, he created only for, let me actually show you guys he only created it for first date of the year, and that's what he did. He just created only year and the start of the year, only two. So that's why this is January 2011 and January 2012. Why you're seeing this 2011 and 2012 both the years? Because I don't know, I never used this. He changed the format. Sorry, jumping back and forth. He went here and actually the first column year R is a date column. He changed the format. I will bring it back to the show date. So if you see here, what he did is, so we have a January racket and I think this is also January for 2011 2012. The way he calculated is, it took the values from the sales year, whatever that month he has the sales, he just took those unique values, and then created the year from that as a calculated column. What we need to do is, to work with the time intelligence functions, we need to have a date table, which is like a date table is where the start date and end date has to be continuous. There should not be any gap, and also it should be unique value. The date column should be unique value. So it has to be at the date granularity. So this was the biggest drawback in his design, where his date dimension was not properly created and he was not able to achieve the result. And in my solution, and the final solution, what we did is, we just created a calendar table from the first sales of the year until the end of the year, and marked it as a date table, and then created the relationship at the date level with the budget table and with the sales table, because then we can roll up, because lowest granularity is the date, so we can always roll up to the month, quarter, or whatever we wanted to do. And that's why we need to create the date table to get to the date granularity to achieve the result. I hope you find this video useful. Do check out the Time Intelligence playlist, where I have a lot of in-depth videos on talking about all the time intelligence functions available in Power BI. I hope you find and learn something interesting from this video. Do let me know, and make sure to subscribe the channel for the upcoming videos. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye for now. Thank you.